So what sold in 2010? I thought I'd give you some real hard statistics. Here's the way it's broken down from 2010. You have 44% are the moderns. That includes mid-century modern, which thank God is dying already. If I see one more mid-century Danish modern anything, I'm going to kill someone. So 24% still want the mid-century modern. 20% have moved towards more cleaner modern. That's basically about half the culture, or a third of the culture, is still modern, modern, modern. However, 33% is always that transitional. And in this case, what was really interesting is that it wasn't so much the Hollywood glamour, because again, that was last year sort of the tail edge of it. 21% is this industrial Americana. And I think even here, even in the new showrooms, you can see it everywhere, the industrial Americana. Old projectors made into lamps and metal bits and pieces and stuff everywhere. So that what I call mantiques, you know, to give it a masculine edge. Again, it's more of an American, it's more real and trustworthy and standing the test of time. And then Deco was really kind of quiet, you know, given the whole grand scheme of things. Art Nouveau, few people here and there, very particular to a collector. I actually think it's coming back, so keep an eye out for it. And then the traditionals. There's always people, there's always money people who just say, make it look like a Scottish castle, you know? So there's 23% are the traditionals, 21 was full traditional, and Asian, unfortunately, still kind of suffering. Partly, I think, Asian is suffering a bit for the last several years because of people cleaning out China. We basically, everyone went over there, knocked on the doors, got all the real Chinese artifacts out, and now I think the government has now just changed it so that you can't take all of the artifacts of China out. And now what's interesting is the Chinese are buying their own heritage back, and they're breaking record auctions of, you know, Chinese pieces and things. But I actually think Asian is one to look out for, and I've even noticed it's sort of creeping up in subtle ways. I don't know if it's ever going to go full Asian again for a while, but definitely bits and pieces. And then traditional, I think, again, is still starting to uptrend. Industrial Americana, I think, is it was so strong last year and the year before. We could just not keep any of it on our website. It would sell out. I think it's going to burn itself out. I think so many people jumped on board, and because it was like the only obvious thing, and I think it's going to burn itself out a bit. Hollywood glamour, like I said, is fading, and it's changing to sort of a more deco feel. And then modern, I think you always have sort of modern. Probably half, you know, the culture is going to be always modern. But I think those people are going to be more eclectic. So what are the big cultural trends? The reason for a lot of this stuff is economic uncertainty still. We're halfway through a 10-year cycle, you know, since the crash. We're about 4.5 years now, right, since then. Usually takes 10 years to get through it. Rise of the individual power, again, really key. Pretty soon everyone's going to have their own channel broadcasting 24/7. So how will these factors manifest? I think the big cultural trend that these manifest in New York, you cannot go anywhere without the word curate. That's all you hear over and over and over. I'm curating, you're curating. What was interesting, and I was talking with some of the ladies here on the way in from the airport, it was a scholarly thing that only museum people did, was curate. And it was sort of stuffy, and they researched. Now, literally, everyone and their mother, again, due to the rise of individual power, it's all about curation. As a matter of fact, our website, we're changing the whole business model. We're moving away from what we're doing, and we're curating. It's not a real word, but pretty soon, you know, the Websters who just finally got LOL in the dictionary, they'll catch up. Value, That's another thing that's really important, again, because of economic uncertainty. Now, value does not mean cheap. I think that's really important. Value, nobody wants cheap. I mean, if you have to have cheap, it's because you can't afford it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But people, even people who have very little money, they want the best quality for that money. It's really about that. And again, it goes back to good, honest, sort of beginning values. So what does this mean for the home decor industry? Give people ways, if you're one of these people sort of in the contemporary areas, give them ways to make their interiors personal. Maybe it's about customizing everyone's couch for them. You know, as we keep going, there are sites devoted more and more and more to mix 500 combinations of something to make your own lamp. I just saw the other day, I forget all the names. If you are really interested, you can email me and I'll tell you. And then produce things of value. That's a key, well-made, well-crafted. What does this mean for furniture? So go back to overscaled furniture, comfortable but tailored, about unique and sculptural pieces, and modernize the classics, but reinterpret them, reinterpret history. Go for a Renaissance chair, but how is a Renaissance chair today? What does it look like? What will this mean for, speaking of Renaissance, with the Borgias? You know, again, you can always catch the cultural trends. I mean, I think HBO is always right on the, like, you can find what's about to hit culturally by just watching what new HBO series is being introduced. So what will this mean for collectibles, for those who just are, you know, fanatical with collecting? An interest in modern classics. This can mean if you're a modernist and you're really like cool, trendy, modern, you're going to go back to like early Alessi pieces, you know, Alberto Alessi, and you're going to get like the original Michael Graves set, or maybe you're going to spend a lot of money to buy the like one of the original production ones. An interest in classics that look modern already. I am predicting, and that's I think the next slide. I think you're going to see people interested in silver again. In America, we're not really interested in silver ever. I don't think flatware. I think like the beer steins, you'll start to see everyone's like, especially the clean line ones, the ones that kind of almost look deco, but they're from 18, you know, whatever. Definitely the Boston silver is what you should look at for inspiration. Pick bare bones, you know, good stuff. Here are my hot picks. If you're out there in the market, American silver, look at that. You can also do Swedish silver that looks kind of American-y. Silver also is silver. Again, it's an honest material, one that holds value, so people are going to try to find those real things in life. Stone sculpture, what's more, you know, what's more real and sort of stable in your life than something you can trip over and hurts? You know, stone. Especially, I don't mean classic like Greek sculpture, I mean more modern, sort of halfway between modern and classic. Small side tables, again, because of economic times, our #1 seller right now, small tables, little side tables. They're a few $100, maybe $1,200 at the high end. Easy to ship, not expensive shipping. So everyone is buying side tables and a lot of accessories to kind of make the home really exciting. I think if you're a contemporary manufacturer right now, I'd look at 100 different ways to make great, I mean, amazing side tables. Photography, it's a big trend right now, and it's just gonna, it's kind of, is it peaking, is it not peaking? Just about in every interior, all of this last 6 months, huge scale photography, black and white photography, some color that's shiny and slick. And I think what's going to happen is there'll be an interest in early 80s photography, like paparazzi photography and things like that. So buy that up if you're at a flea market or someone's like garage sale. Unique pillows, again, because people don't have the money to sort of change everything in their home, pillows are the easiest way. But I think people are like, oh, like, there's so few good pillows. And you're like, there's a gazillion pillows. Why can't I find a good pillow? That's, I think, you know, I especially see throughout this marketplace, so many pillows, you know, and some really interesting ones. I see some people doing like couture home or something, or haute couture home or something, doing like blingy pillows that almost look like bridal wedding dresses. I mean, very fun, interesting things. American folk art, I think, again, you're going back to the roots of things. It's stripped down. And finally, for the Americana dealers, who really haven't seen a heyday since like 83, 85, when people were paying crazy money for weather vanes, I think you're going to start to see American folk art really come back again, you know, which would be great. Quality furniture, it's not about buying cheap things. You really want to buy the best. And then sculptural furniture. So those are my hot picks out there. So basically, if you had to summarize it, I would say 2011 will be the year that 1989 battled 1993. Because really, when you think about it, that's where we're at this moment, both culturally as well as stylistically. And what will 2012 bring? Well, my early prediction is the growing strength of 1989. Like, I thought it was going to happen last year because of the steampunk thing. It was sort of not sure of itself, and so then everyone just, I think to be safe, did the Calvin Klein-y 90s modern clean look. However, I think you're going to see quirky, darker interiors. I think the interiors are going to go darker, guys. It's going to be, what's the color of this year? The color, according to Pantone, is honeysuckle, which is sort of like a bright red. I actually picked oxblood red for this year as the color. You know, I'm not sure if I'm personally ready for red walls again, but it's here, I think. And much darker, richer interiors. So I don't just mean, you know, everyone always, you know, people love bright. I want happy, I want bright. It's always the case. It's always the directive from the client. But I think what they're going to start to pull out of the magazines, or at least what the magazines are going to cover, is darker, richer interiors. So if you want more, you can check out our site. Like I said, the 4 main ones we have summarized with just sort of the key sub things with it. And we constantly are putting out new stuff all the time. So you can read our blogs. And we just got a brand new editorial staff that's coming in we're really excited about. We just hired Alexis Stevenson, who was part of Cottage and Gardens, which was a publication out of Connecticut, really great. And then we're not yet allowed to announce our new editor-in-chief, but it's someone provenanced out the wazoo. I mean, it's a heavy hitter. So we're very excited about that. I'm hopefully going to announce that next week. And that's it.